Good evening, everyone. My name is Sebastian, and I will give you a quick rundown about the new features from Chrome extension and the companion module vtta-dndbeyond. The extension is currently under Google review and will be released, hopefully, in the next couple of days. And this time is rather important to have the module updated together with the extension because the data structure changed and you will run into errors if you are getting out of sync here. So I'm not automatically publishing the Chrome extension, but they tell me, okay, it's reviewed, it's good to go, and then I can flip the switch and I will update the extension, the module, sorry, synchronously. And please watch this space, or better, the Discord, for information when that happens. Just we are seeing big changes and in the module parts in the last week, so updating and checking for updates regularly is really recommended. So with that out of the way, let's dive into the new features and a quick rundown on how to set up and get going. So what you're seeing here is a Foundry Linux server is version 0.602. 0.603 is released yesterday. It has a little bug regarding file uploads, and we're working on fixing that because, well, Andrew is working on fixing that, and I'm quite confident that it will happen soon. But right now, the modules are released only for this version here. So if you update it, you could probably revert, but that's out of scope for this video. So let's go create a world, and as always, I changed something that works. We are naming it dev, and we launch the world right now. So we're logging in as game master as you would do, and you see that's the basic setup. Everything's blank. Now we will be enabling the module, game settings, manage modules, and we will hit save. This is something new that you're already seeing here. This bigger splash screen is coming up once, if you want it, per version update, and it gives you a quick rundown of what changed. Just to keep you informed, if you're not a regular user on the Discord channel, you still know what's up. Sometimes there won't be any pop-ups if just hotfixes or something like that. But here, for example, the character import, there was a rather big change caused by ddnbeyond actually, because they turned off the old JSON endpoint that we use to import characters, and this is just the place to get you guys on board. Okay, so this is rather new. You've got two buttons, a close and dismiss until updated, so you won't get nagged if you have read it once. Click dismiss until updated and it will pop up on the next updated version from the module, and until that happens, you are good to go. You say, wow, that's so much to read, I'm tired and I have a session in 5 minutes. You hit just close and it will pop up on the next reload. So that's that. One thing that I had regularly was like new users downloading Foundry, running the Windows application, Excel, the macOS, whatever binary file format macOS has, or the Linux client as I'm doing right now, and they said I cannot connect to the extension. So right now we are getting here this little notification area. This is new too. So it says native app detected, and you cannot use the extension with a native app unless to do things. And in order to guide you through these things, you can either click to close anywhere here, or here's a nifty little link. Let me show you how to do connect actually. So here you can see a little tutorial that's popped up, and you can get through it, and gives you step by step what you need to do to actually get running. So I'm trying to make the onboarding experience a little bit less complex, less complicated, and this will be an ongoing process. So how to actually connect and stuff, and perhaps connect the accounts. I want to get you guys on board easily. So this is that. And here, did you know, you can find the game settings invitation links by clicking here. So this is some general knowledge about Foundry. So this is the first thing that you will notice when you update. Then let's go over the notes real quick because I'm a little bit prepared and then I got bored and then I'm will wing it. So what has improved? We got big improvements in monster imports. We got some reports that, for example, if you had some, I don't remember the URLs now from the monsters, but some monsters had, for example, d-and-d-beyond, I can type, had some weapon attacks based on a magical sword, longsword +1, and that wasn't parsing correctly. So this is now importing. Some other people that posted miscorrected or not parsable monsters, those are getting in right now without effort and correctly, as far as I could tell. So that's that. And I got one thing that was a constant issue because user feedback, what is working, the button is not appearing. And it took me some time, but I found something, a clockwork golem, and now we are getting a failed monster parsing. So there's an error message. You can actually see it's not working, and you can click that and go directly to the Discord to report, hey, what's up, this monster isn't working. And here's a little disclaimer. If it's a homebrew monster, it says, okay, I can look at it, but no promises. Some are really weirdly formatted, right? Scanning over this, I can see it's only like small changes and perhaps we can make it going, but otherwise no promises here. So, but let's rewind a bit and actually look at the new features by logging in, not with a native app, but let's do it like the tutorial said. We return to setup here and we do not log in and we just start the server basically. And then we go to the localhost 30,000 as the default, and then we log in here from Chrome and as a game master, and we're set. So right now you see this no native app is not popping up again. This change log is still there. So that's that. We now have a connected, or the possibility to connect, because we are running Foundry. We connect to Foundry using Chrome, and we connect to our d-and-d-beyond tabs using Chrome. So everything is living in the same world and can talk to each other. And all we need to do now, right now, is to actually go once to the pop-up menu of the Chrome extension, and then we hit connect to Foundry. And a little tidbit about that: this button is either green or red, and a little bit guesswork because I don't know what URL from Foundry is. For example, my games are hosted at vtta-assets.com, so my URL would be something.vtta-assets.com/game, and your mileage may vary if you're using the Forge or Forge Foundry server or host locally using your own domain name. So this URL varies widely, so I cannot guess is it a Foundry tab or not. What I know is, oh, d-and-d-beyond is guaranteed no Foundry installer unless they buy it. So this is red here. So it's more often green than red, but it's a small indicator that you need to be on the Foundry tab when you want to connect the extension to your Foundry server. Perhaps that's a little mental bridge for you. If I want to connect to Foundry, I need to see Foundry. Okay, so let's hit here, connect to Foundry, and you see here Chrome extension version 3.0.2 connected. For you, it will be version 3.1.0. Because I forgot to switch the module version in my dev. Well, that's it. Still the same functionality I will be showcasing. So you can actually have some a little bit more visual feedback. The icon is on the lower left, and the icon actually stays now on the lower left no matter what you do. So that bug is fixed too. You should have a visual understanding what is going on. That was the aim of some of the changes I did here. So right now we are having Foundry connected, and we can confirm that. We can see here Foundry is connected, no owned actors. I'm logged in as Game Master, and something that people do not know, you can for once filter here in the address bar what kind of tabs do I want to see here. And the second thing is you can actually click those to switch to that tab. So this area is not just flashy information, but it has real use, at least I hope. So you can use that to switch back and forth between the tabs. So right now we are connected to Foundry, and we can check if this clockwork volume is really not processing. And again, yeah, it isn't. So that's that. If we hit now to the module settings, which you always should do, remember, install a module, enable a module, configure a module. So it's the 3 steps, remember that. So we enable the module, and we didn't configure it yet. So let's do that. And if we go here, you will see that it is a little bit reordered, a tiny bit, and just one new entry here. It's scene image format. You can now choose between WebP, that's a compression algorithm from Google, which has quite a yeah. In the past, it wasn't really useful, but in the last couple of years, it became something that is really awesome. The file sizes are very small in regards to PNG and even in regards to JPEG, but the visuals are really good, so you won't have any artifacts. And I would really recommend going the WebP route. Depending on what you choose here, you will get served from my proxy either the WebP formatted image file or the original file, which can be PNG or JPEG, depending on what dndbeyond serves. Again, if you want to have smaller file sizes, and I'm speaking, if I look at the whole package of maps that are downloadable by importing the modules, on the original file size we're talking about 1.7 gig, and by WebP we are, let's see if I can show you that, because let's talk numbers. Let me see if I find it that quickly. That is, and of course I do find it. So here, let me put that on the screen. So we got here the scenes, and we see it's all the different modules, and everything has their respective scenes. And you see that I've got the GM maps and the player maps here prepared already. I'll get back to that later. And if we look at the scenes org for a second, so we can see it's totaling to 1.8 gig, and the scenes here is 760 megabytes. And if you compare it side by side, I did it because I wasn't too sure. There's no difference seen, especially if you zoom out a little bit. Everything looks the same, but you will have well, happy players, because the scenes load way faster. And let's add to that. Right now, the WebP files are served by a CDN. That means is a content distribution network. So depending, you can either be from Asia or the States or from Europe, and it should be served rather quickly to you, independent on where you are. The original files will be served by vtta-dndbeyond through the proxy directly from dndbeyond, so that will take a little longer on import. But again, that's not really an issue. My recommendation is try WebP. You will be amazed, because lower loading size and no difference in image quality. The only caveat is, I don't know if you pronounce it that way, so just look out. The only thing that isn't supporting WebP is Apple on Safari. So if you have Apple users, they can use Chrome or whatever, Firefox, but not Safari unless you want to have a bad time. But everyone else understands WebP because they adhere to web standards. So there's that. Besides that, no difference at all on the settings. Still use your avatar upload directory, your scene upload directory. Make sure if you change these settings that you're using the buttons, because of this data and brackets, it will update accordingly, and this is the format that is needed by the module to actually find it. I haven't included my S3, also my object storage here, so I cannot choose that, but it's supported out of the box. As always, you got the compendia here. They will be created for you. Perhaps you noticed a screen flash once when we enabled the module. It's a reload after the compendia are created. So this step, this setup step, is done for you now too. So we got the settings now. We got the monster import, which improved quite a bit. And regarding monster import, one improvement we got here is that now we only parsed actions, but now reactions are a thing. So everything in stat block is now supported. And it took me quite long because I always get distracted when I need to implement reactions, and then I need to find a monster that has the reactions. It's quite, if you don't know by heart, it's quite yes, annoying because it's not filterable, I think. So, but now, yeah, I did it. So it's monsters are super supported. Even the homebrew monsters, I scanned through rather long pages until I found the clockwork golem, which isn't parsing. So I think that's in a really good state right now. I did change something on import regarding spellcasters, because for spellcasters it was like only the CR is took into consideration about which level of monster this spellcaster is, and that could have been, or that was miscalculated if the CR was high enough, but it was only let's say 18th level only. 18th level spellcaster, the spell slots assigned to it were higher than they should be, so this is fixed now. And yeah, that's basically regarding monster imports. General parser improvements, reactions and nothing, and spellcaster level is transported correctly. So we had, in the last iteration of the extension, rather more stabilized spell import. This is I fixed a little bug in there, so we are pretty good on monster import right now. Let's go over to characters. There were two bugs that were yeah. First of all, only gems seem to connect to your Foundry server, and this is not the case any longer. So when it's now enabled for players too. So let's see if I log in my characters, and I'm taking Kurt. I like him. So this is how import is now working. I just paste the URL here. I check everything I want, what should be updated. I want to update everything, and instead of going through the new URL by hand, I just close this window and I hold Alt and click that, and I wait for a couple of seconds so that I'm sure that everything is correctly loaded. I copy paste everything here. So I'm currently talking about talking to someone from D&D Beyond. Perhaps we can automate that. I'm not. He was very reluctant, and I understand that because they are working on their public API and like doing side agreements with dubious VTT assets guys is not on their agenda right now, and I totally get that. But perhaps we can automate that. Would be amazing. But again, here probably not, to be honest, but we'll see. So right now we got that, and if you're on this page here now, and let's reload once because we just imported it, and we need to connect, and we should be able to roll here. It's an 8, and we can see it's an 8. Yeah, weird. 0. Perhaps it's not working that good. So that needs to rework, but on the module side, so it's okay that we got the changes on the D&D Beyond side, which where player could not connect. This is another thing. That's okay. That's working. And the other thing was that sometimes multiple roles were sent over to Foundry, so there's a throttle thingy now going on, and this is not the case any longer. So this feature is pretty usable right now. with the limitations that are coming from ddnbeyond. For example, you still cannot draw like with advantage or something like that. So this is still not a thing, but it's coming there. So the main focus was really increasing the compatibility and the extent of the module import, and there was the biggest step done. So, but we got monsters, we got characters, nothing regarding spells. That was not really necessary. I still think that importing your spells by going the character import routine does yield the best results, and parsing from the web page, well, you can do that, but it's not so precise and it will never be. So yeah, it's there for completeness basically. As I do not recommend to use it as a main source of import. If you want the most precise results, if you like me and say if it's not super precise, I still can work with it. Yeah, you can of course use that. So let's go to the meat. So the main dish. We had some issues with importing scenes and adventure modules. So one thing is here, it really says, okay, this page is not supported. You can see no VTTA buttons, anything. Those are starting to pop up once you hit the supported pages. And here you can see that we got, I changed a little bit the imagery or the display, the user interface from the detected scenes. And with that, I kind of said goodbye to these outline star, half star, full star, because it was limited to 3 states. And with the new feature that I'll be talking about later, this is not enough. So I'm resorting back to no star, 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, and so on. So the more stars, the better is the scene import. And to go through all the scenes, I just reverted everyone to 0 stars. So right now we can see no distinguishing features about is the sword quest now a good map or not. You can only see it right now by importing it. But with features I will introduce later, we will see these stars popping up. And if you want to help, that's for you to decide. You can. I'll show you that later. So the second thing is we got now these 2 buttons. So the mouse pointer isn't changing. It's just an informational display, but those are 2 buttons here. And by hitting import to Foundry, the regular Foundry import is starting, and we can see it is saved to the user data storage, and the scene is not going to the navigation bar by default, because you will import every scene probably. And I was like, that was user feedback. There's so many scenes, please do not do that by default, and I think that's a good idea. So we got here again the introduction, and we can activate it or toggle the navigation over here, and then just download that. One thing that I did differently, and it's a small thing, but I still want to mention it. The background color changed a little bit here and there on the scenes. I reworked the algorithm when I was parsing all the maps and going through all the maps again, because some people might know that I lost quite all of my tooling basically because of a dumb error of hitting Shift Delete. Yes, I want to delete everything in my main tools folder instead of a subfolder in it, so I lost basically all my data and I need to rebuild everything. That's why we are basically almost 1.5 weeks later than I was intending to release this version. But again, it's not too bad, because I went through all the maps. I adjusted the grid size for every map, which wasn't correct for all of those. I found several maps that were just plain wrong with the wrong imagery, or just I found two or three maps that are missing from existing modules. So we are now 100% complete, 100% correct in regards of which map will be imported. So imagery and names are correct, grid size is correct. So that's that. And when doing that, I changed the background color to that, not to the average color of the whole page or whole scene, but I just took like the borders and averaged that, so it should be a little bit better. Not noticeably, but it still bugged me. So that's why some things are taking longer than expected when I code. But yeah, but I like it. Okay, we got that. Then you will see that right here we got no, oh wait, journal entries. We got here this sort class just as before. This hasn't changed a bit. So one big journal entry for the whole page, and then we got missing. Well, perhaps those are not here. Let's check the next one. Cause that would be amazing if we just hit a bug here. I tested it so thoroughly. Here we go. Okay, so no labels on the sourcecast here. I thought I had at least. Let's see, before I say something wrong, I want to confirm that. That's okay. Some sources like, and we can see that here. Switch real quick to save my ass. I think we got here the shortcast and here the coniberry cracks and that, and this is now when I import that. Here it is. So it's just missing on Lost Minds. That's okay. I did everything right. That's the important thing here. So let's get back to like here, because we were talking about journal entries, and you might see that this is different from the way it was before. Let's go to, no, not yet. The main thing that was not working correctly in the last version was if we had several maps on the same web page, and we had the descriptions of these maps both starting with 1 to 3, 1 to 3, 1 to 3. Only the first map was really getting the right journal entries, and the other maps had none. And I reworked the way the descriptions are linked to the scenes, and the descriptions not only are linked to the scenes by name, but by position XY position. So what we have now is not only where is it here? I harmonized like the numbering scheme from, for example, some maps were named K1, K2, K3. Some maps were named Area 1, Area 2, Area 3, or the other way around. 1K, 2K, 3K, and this was all over the place. So this is now harmonized, that everything is 01, 02, 03, and because of two reasons. First reason is Foundry sorting. This can be sorted correctly. That was a little bit off if it was not like that. And the other thing is, and let's go to the scene from Icefire Peak and activate that one. That you can now drag all those, and we need to drag the correct ones here. You can drag those over here. Well, I think Coniberry is over here, I guess. And you'll see we got entry icons now. You got not only the default ones, but 1 to 99. And this is the number 1. It's detected by the name. And here we got these nice SVG numbers, which are used when you drag those out. The cracks are, I think, over here. So this is that. This is done automatically for you. You don't need to do anything besides dragging these pointers, and then you can access by double clicking the correct journal entry. And so this is, yeah, that I tried to play with K1, KB, take upward, but that would involve like, I tried it and I scripted it and it was like over 300 icons and it just didn't look good. So let's try that, how you like it. Please report back and provide feedback. So this is the one thing that you can now just drag those and those will look nice, but it's not all. I said that I can store now XY coordinates, and if we are going to the goblin arrows, let's activate that. Then you can see it's already placed for you. So that's the main target. We want to have all the walls, we want to have the journal entries, and let's see monsters paths. Not quite convinced, because yeah, level 3 party and Crackmore hideout would laugh about the monster that will place that will really challenge a level 1 party. So that's the main issue I'm having here. But that's pretty great state, I guess. So this is optics, the SVG icons, the automatic placement, and the ability to place the journal entries, and they get the corresponding image without you needing to do anything else besides dragging and hitting OK. The other thing is that now duplicates are not a thing any longer, so if you re-import a scene, you will not end up with having super many duplicate journal entries here. So this is the desired behavior as you know it from item import, character import, monster import. So this is now finished in that regard too. And yeah, that's that. So these are the improvements. Pretty many improvements are made on the back end because of the changed data structure, which requires a synchronous update from the extension and the module. So you don't see too much, but it was a needed change, and that held me up a little longer than I was expecting it. But now it feels really good, and I'm pretty proud of. If I see that map, that's what I would have to do. Would not expect that's what I would expect when I import a map by tool, because like that you can just place the tokens of players on the map and hit get going. So of course you need to read the journal entries and know what's going on, but other than that, that's pretty amazing, I think. Right, now about, I said you could, if you want, you could actually contribute to scene adjustments. So for example, and I need to go over all the scenes a little bit. You see we got, for example, one person from Discord. He said, hey, I've seen, I think in the last chapter, spider swap. And I agree. There was one battle map in the, no, it wasn't here. It was in the last chapter. Web echo. And I'm still in love with all these thumbnails. It's so good. This area over here, he did an amazing job with placing so many walls and double walls and one-sided walls and stuff. And you can actually say, okay, I don't like that. I rework that part, and I want to share that that improvement with the community. And you're invited to do that. The only thing you need to do is basically right-clicking over here and hit submit scene. So this will trigger this little scene submission form, where you can choose whatever username you want, because it will be displayed on the Discord when it says, hey, VTTA or Norg or whatever just updated a scene and it was approved. Then it's available directly for everyone to import, and then your name will be displayed. So you must be comfortable with showing your name or use a pseudonym. This change description is something for the approvers. That will be me. So said I reworked just some wording to improve the atmosphere, or I placed the journal entries, or I adjusted, I added some lights that were missing, or I placed windows where walls were, or whatever. I adjusted the grid because it wasn't matching perfectly. So these are just little, what did I do to get a feeling what to look out if I look at the changes that you did. So I don't need to search, but I just have it a little bit a visual for me. And then you just hit submit scene. So let's do that. And you see, hey, scene submitted. Thank you. I'll review your submission soon. And if you do the same, you'll see, hey, you already submitted this map and will be overwritten. So everyone can have one submission in review. Okay. So if you want to contribute, you can do that easily right now. The only thing that I need to write is a little tool for actually reviewing the stuff and hitting OK or no. And then when I do that and I use the same process for my adjustment to the scenes, like walling and stuff, then I will actually up the amount of stars each scene has. So this will be like an ongoing process for sure. And you will see those stars popping up like when night settles in. Okay, I think that will be good. So that's that. We got monster import improvements, we got character roles improvements, we got battle map improvements, and I can say that every map on I stand corrected. The only maps that are missing right now are the ones in it was in this weird acquisition incorporated. I think here is some map that is not yet supported, I guess. Yeah. Okay, this sort of gauge is not yet supported. Please check back later. So the only thing I think that it's not supported, not detected, not processed is acquisition incorporated, but that will follow. The new Mythic Odyssey of Theros is already in, and with some walling already. I'm looking forward to the new release of oh, that will be amazing, Icewind Dale. So excited for that. So looking forward to that one. So I pre-ordered already. So that's that. I think it was longer than I wanted to talk, but that's a common problem. My wife will say, yeah, that's true. But okay, let's cut it here. Thank you for attention. I hope you didn't fall asleep, and looking forward to your feedback to the new version. Regarding release, it's currently I cannot show that because I would insert and open my KeyPass and stuff, but it's currently in review. I submitted it earlier today, some hours ago. The last update went through like it was nothing. Let's see, and let's hope that it stays that way, so that we don't get queried and why do you need that and rejected like the previous version, previous version. But I'm quite optimistic. So all right, let's wrap it up. Thank you for your support, for your ongoing support. It's amazing, and my mind is every time is blown when I go into the Discord and see so many people and everyone is friendly to each other. That's super experience for me, and I hope it stays that way, and everyone is welcoming the new community members, not only from VTTA but from Foundry in general. And please stay lovely. Take care.